Philkotse ba? Philkotse na.
Karamihan sa atin na makakita ng mataas at malaking sasakyan basta hindi mukhang sedan, hatchback, convertible o van, ang unang sasagi sa isip is sport utility vehicle o SUV. Mga sinaunang panahon pa kasi yun, nung graduating pa lang si Stanley from college.
Wait, hindi ah. Graduating ako college. Mas matanda ka sa akin eh.
Ngayon, medyo nagulo na yung classification. Parang love life ni Senpai. Bukod sa SUVs, meron na rin tinatawag na crossovers. At madalas, nai-interchange o napagpapalit ang dalawang terms na ito. Hello car fans, this is Joseph and welcome to Explain Like I'm 5. And today, we talk about the similarities and differences between SUVs and crossovers. Like nyo muna itong video namin, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Daan na rin kayo sa aming Philkotse Car Guide by clicking the link at the description below para updated kayo sa full specs, latest pricing, at news. Nagpapaligsahan pa rin ang automakers kung sino ang kayang makasungkit sa pinakamalaking market share. Hindi lang sa Pilipinas yan ha, kundi sa buong mundo. Ang kaso, dahil sa competition na ito, hindi maiiwasang manganak ng bagong segments o categories ang mga sasakyan, making it increasingly difficult to classify specific models, gaya na lang ng SUVs at crossovers. Bakit nga ba marami ang nalilito pagdating sa dalawang yan? Konting history muna tayo. Ang mga ninuno or ancestor ng kinikilala nating SUVs ngayon ay ang military vehicles na na-produce before World War II by countries such as Russia, Japan, and the US. Bilang mga sasakyang pandigma, they were built to be rugged enough in negotiating all sorts of terrain, from pavement to off-road conditions. Sa una, napakamahal gumawa ng civilian vehicle na may ganitong mga katangian dahil masyadong specialized ang mga kakailanganing pyesa. Eventually, conventional car makers joined in fabricating these parts as part of the war effort. At nung natapos na ang giyera, nagkaroon na sila ng sapat na experience at confidence para i-market ang mass-produced versions nito for customers who want adventure vehicles. Ang crossover naman umusbong nung late 70s. Hindi pa uso ang term na SUV at crossover noong mga panahong ito, pero ang AMC Eagle 4-wheel drive passenger vehicle ang kinikilala bilang unang dedicated crossover model. May nagsabing nauna pa raw dito ang Studebaker Wagonaire noong 1963 dahil combination ito ng iba't ibang vehicle types. Kaya tinawag na crossover. The modern crossover as we know it today is credited to the release of the Toyota RAV4 in 1994, built around a modified platform used by the Corolla and Carina. Much of the confusion between SUVs and crossovers comes from the things they tend to have in common. The most evident of which is the two-box body style na makikita rin sa hatchbacks or station wagons. Kapag sinabing two-box, ito yung disenyo ng sasakyan na naglalaan ng dalawang hiwalay na compartments. One is for the engine, the other is for the combined passenger space and cargo bay. Kung sedan naman, three-box ang tawag kasi may third compartment, represented by the separate trunk. Anyway, ang isa pang similarity nila ay ang pagkakaroon ng higher ground clearance kumpara sa standard passenger cars. This is to allow them to negotiate rough roads and up to moderate floods with ease. Ngayon, saan nga ba sila nagkakatalo? Simulan natin sa platform. Ang SUVs, karaniwan ay gumagamit ng tinatawag na body-on-frame chassis, also known as ladder frame kasi mukha itong hagdan. Dito, hiwalay ang katawan ng sasakyan sa pinakakaha or chassis, kung saan nakasampa ang powertrain, suspension, and steering. Matibay ang ganitong setup para sa off-roading at dahil nakahiwalay, pwedeng baguhin ang disenyo ng body na hindi ginagalaw ang kaha. Ang gamit naman ng crossovers ay ang unibody platform, short for unitized body. Ibig sabihin, magkasama ang katawan at kaha in a single structure. May kabigatan kasi ang body-on-frame platform, kaya ang advantage ng unibody, mas magaan, kaya mas mabilis ang acceleration, mas maganda ang handling, at mas fuel efficient. Number 2, let's talk about powertrains. For SUVs, the minimum requirement is rear-wheel drive, with four-wheel drive being the typical equipment offered. Take note, part-time ito, meaning kailangang i-disable kapag patag o maganda ang kalsada. Also, dahil usually mabigat ang SUVs with lighter frame chassis, kadalasan ay diesel ang makinang ginagamit nila. When it comes to crossovers, front-wheel drive naman ang kadalasan na standard, with all-wheel drive offered on top-spec variants. Ito naman, permanenteng pinapaikot lahat ng gulong, so kaya nitong mag-adjust depende sa road conditions na dinadaanan. Ang power units na ginagamit dito, pwedeng gasoline, diesel, at meron ding hybrid options. Number 3 pertains to performance. Dahil malalaki at matitibay ang kaha ng SUVs, perfect sila for towing and syempre, off-roading. More often than not, mataas ang riding position ng mga ito, kaya madaling makita ang kalsada kung may lubak ba or obstacle na kailangang iwasan. Medyo lugi ang crossovers pagdating sa hardcore off-road driving, pero ang alas naman ng mga ito, yung car-like handling pagdating sa semento o aspalto. Para kayong nakasakay sa kotseng pinataas ng konti, pero hindi naman OA ang ride height. Manageable pa rin ang center of gravity, kaya mababa ang risk na tumaob during sudden maneuvers. Siyempre, andyan na rin ang presyo and maintenance costs. Hindi bababa sa 1.5 million ang price tag ng isang SUV na base variant ha. Tapos 5 digits pa ang gagastusin nyo kung magpapalit kayo ng gulong for example. At isang piraso pa lang yun. In contrast, may mga crossovers pang mabibili at less than 1 million pesos at comparable sa compact sedan ang pyesa. Ngayon, ano ba ang mas magandang bilhin? SUV o crossover? Aba, depende na yan sa pangangailangan nyo. What's important is that how you use it lets you get your money's worth, wherever and however and whoever you drive it with. This has been Joseph for today's episode of Explain Like I'm 5. Thanks for supporting Philkotse, and kita tayo sa next video. Thanks for watching. For the latest news, reviews, and anything you want to know about cars and car ownership, visit philkotse.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify para hindi ka huli sa usapan. Tandaan, kotse ba? Philkotse na!